Hello, hello, and welcome to Afternoon Drive here on Joppa Radio. My name is Drew Moholland. Hope you're all having a good Tuesday. It is wet and rainy out there and kind of gross for a Tuesday afternoon, not like the rather good weather that we had over the weekend. So hope you're all doing okay. Hope you all had a nice long weekend. I did as well. Memorial Day, of course, the unofficial kickoff to summer. So we're underway on that front. I guess the big story of the day here is that big win for the Boston Bruins last night. Don't know if you stayed up. I struggled staying up after a long holiday weekend. I had a lot of family around and all that stuff, so cookouts early in the day and all that. So that was a late game for me, 8:30, but a very nice win from the Boston Bruins, coming back from 2 goals down to win 4-2 last night and take game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final. So very nice job by the Bruins. Game 2 tomorrow night, and Boston tickets very expensive if you're trying to get in there. I remember having a chance at tickets for the Stanley Cup Final back in 2011, and I remember thinking I could get up into the balcony for like $300, which was pretty good at the time. It was like on the day of the game, all that stuff. I ended up not being able to do it. Now I just looked out of curiosity last night. It's like $600 to get into the Garden for these Stanley Cup Final games. So pretty crazy. A little bit much for me. I will watch it on TV, but I'm then again old. Maybe if you're cooler and like having nights out and have a little money, maybe you'll do it. It's a great take, I'm sure. But Stanley Cup Final, Bruins lead 1-0. Very good, very good. Actually, very big weekend in the sports world too. We had the very sad loss of Bill Buckner, first baseman for the Red Sox, and of course '86, the ball first the Mets that everybody remembers him for. And I hate even saying that as the first sentence with him because, first of all, that he didn't lose that game. That game had already been blown. It was a tie game, and that was the winning run that came in. It wasn't like the tying run and then the winning run came in that Mets '86 game. But also, he had a 3-run lead in Game 7, too, and you couldn't close that out if you're the Red Sox. And Bill Buckner, I liked Wade Boggs' tweet, his teammate on that team, and Wade Boggs tweeted last night saying, just such a sad loss. This guy was the only reason that we were even in the '86 World Series. And you know, he said he never blamed the fans for a lot of the criticism and what came after that, but there was a bit to it. I mean, it was a very media-driven thing, and the media was horrible on Bill Buckner. But fans were too. Even a coworker of mine, I remember saying he was a young kid back in '86, and he saw him at a friendlies right afterwards and yelled something along the lines of in the friendlies to him and said, "It's not your fault, Bill," and he meant it in like a nice way. We're behind you. It's that sort of thing. But he thinks back to it years later, and he thinks how bad that must have been to just be living with that everywhere you go. You go into a friendlies, and boom, you got to deal with that. And it always bothered him that he said that as a kid to him, and just he always felt bad for him. And that kind of resonated with me. And just what an unbelievable player. Borderline Hall of Famer, batting title, Bill Buckner. I read a stat the other day that on Bill Buckner's final day on this earth, I think it was, so he passed away Sunday, 16 Major League Baseball players struck out 3 times on that day in their games. They struck out 3 times. 16 Major League Baseball players did that. Bill Buckner never did it once in his career. Think about that for a second. So he was an unbelievable player, and I played through a lot of pain, and by all accounts, I have not heard anybody say a bad word about him. Rest in peace, Bill Buckner. That was a sad loss to hear. Surprising. 69, too young, obviously, battled dementia, or what was leading to dementia, a form of that. But he probably deserved better, and certainly did not deserve to be remembered for one kind of funky ground ball in a weird spot. But that's that. The other big Red Sox news out of the weekend is Dustin Pedroia might be all done. He's taking the rest of the year, 60-day disabled list essentially, just to get away from baseball, and says he's not sure if he will ever play again with that chronic knee injury. So, of course, he hasn't been really too much a part of things here in recent years. That injury, he's tried to come back a couple times, couldn't do it. Another guy, one of my favorite players, he seems to kind of be not getting the respect he deserves here either. People are saying it's time to move on from him, and I don't quite understand the rush on that. I know he gets paid a lot of money, but all that guy has done here since he's been in Boston is play his heart out and provided a lot of enjoyment. I think people maybe forget how good Dustin Pedroia was, and maybe still is if he has a little game left, but I'm still rooting for a comeback there. Let's see if the 60-day break does anything on that front. Around the world, President Trump coming back from Japan. Interesting stories there. They really rolled out the red carpet for him in Japan. He's supposed to be arriving back at the White House this afternoon. So there is that. What's going on here today? Traffic is terrible today. I have a feeling that's going to be a bad afternoon commute, and people are just going to be really angry because it's that weird first day back after a long weekend. Sometimes those are tough, aren't they? I mean, it's great because it's already Tuesday now, and now we're on to Wednesday. But the thing about the 3-day weekend is it just feels like it's never long enough, right? But I don't know. For some reason, after 3 days off, sometimes it's almost harder to come back after that fourth day. But anyways, no complaining. It was a good 3-day weekend. Very nice. Hopefully you all had a good one. So we have a great few guests in here. I think they're all here actually already as I look out the corner of my eye. Talking Amesbury track today. They had a big week and a big season. So we're going to talk to the captains of the Amesbury's girls track team here in just a moment. Let me get out of the way and we'll get to that. We got Tyler Neufeld producing the radio side. And I should give you the quick little deal on how to find us too. Any past shows you missed, don't forget to go to both radio and TV. The shows are available on demand, streaming on our YouTube station and SoundCloud. To reach the YouTube channel, go to ncmhub.org. Click on the YouTube icon on the top right of the page. To reach the SoundCloud, go to ncmhub.org and click on the cloud icon. Then you get the audio. Good thing to use when you're driving. It's crystal clear. Tyler Neufeld does a good job hosting all that stuff, and he works hard at it, and I appreciate it very much. So that's the story. Will kick me out of the way here. Amesbury track in just a moment. Thanks for joining us on a Tuesday afternoon, whether you're on the road, in your living room, streaming, whatever you're doing. Hope everybody's doing okay out there. It's an ugly day, so it's a good day to hear from some good guests here that we have in Amesbury, and let's do that when we get back. My name is Drew Moholland, and this is Afternoon Drive on Joppa Radio. All right, welcome back to Afternoon Drive on Joppa Radio. My name is Drew Moholland. Hope you're all having a good Tuesday afternoon. We have Amesbury track in the house. Hello, girls. How we doing?
Good. How are you?
Very good. All right, so let's do left to right. Maia, Esty, you can raise your hand. Say hello to everybody.
Hi.
Chelsea Lynch in the middle.
Hello.
And Caroline Schissel.
Hello.
Hello. All right. So how we doing?
Good.
Big news here recently. You guys are now title winners again, back to back. Tell us what we won. What was this big season here?
So we won our Division 4 state championship this year, and last year we won that.
Wow, very nice. When did this went down like last week? Was that the
Sunday?
This was this Sunday.
Yes.
Oh, like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's funny. I didn't realize it was like that recently. I knew it was like last week, but okay, Sunday it happened. Congratulations. That was a big weekend.
Yeah.
How did you win like easily? Was it dramatic? Give me the play-by-play here.
We won by 2.5 points. I believe it was 65 points with the next closest team, which was Weston, and then we had 67.5.
Because that's how the track works, right? They do like it's one big group, but whoever just comes out on top, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's pressure. That seems close then. 2 points.
Yeah.
All right, so it was dramatic. Who'd it come down to? Was there like pressure on somebody at the end?
So the last two events are the 4x1 and 4x4 100-meter run.
Okay.
And so we have a really good 4x1 team, and in order...
What's the 4x1 again? Sorry, I was never really a track
So
guy.
the 4x1 team that ran on Sunday was Caroline, Maia, Beverly, and Nixie Raymond.
So that's a lot. That's like you're handing off the baton?
Yeah.
You're going, okay.
And in order for us to clinch our win, we'd have to get first place, and Weston, who we were going up against like in the top two, had to get no less than like 7th place. Like they had to get 7th place or lower, I guess. But that's what happened. And so by the 4x4, our team didn't have like that much pressure. So we just we ran that pretty like relaxed, and we were all happy.
Wow, it's like a celebration run.
Yeah.
Very cool. That's exciting. How your coach? I've heard your coach on before, Ernie Bissilian. He seems like a good guy. He must have been thrilled.
Yes.
Very good. What was the? Did he give you a final talk at the end? How proud he was, or what's the?
Well, obviously we went into the season as last year's champions, so we really hoped that, especially like for us, our last season would end with a championship.
Yeah, senior captain's pretty cool to do this.
So our whole goal this season was trying to get back to winning the state title, and so we worked really, really hard all season. And I think that's pretty much like what his message was to us at the end, was just like about we put in so much effort. Like at the beginning of the season, like we started practicing way back in like the end of February, basically like captain's practices, and like we just put in so much time and effort into this, and like it all came together at the right moment. So
like that, it all came together. Is there like more pressure on you winning last year too? Because like when you're the champions, it's like everybody. You're not surprising anybody anymore. It's like you're getting best efforts every time.
We definitely had our expectations and standards set really high, and other coaches and other teams expected that from us as well. So coming from this winter season, we did really well. We won our state relay championship in winter and in spring as well. And coming from a really small community in our school, on Sunday we won our state championship with 9 girls.
Wow,
and
really?
Most of us at least doubled or tripled in events, and we take a lot of pride in that, because
I would bet.
we work like so hard. We've been working basically since November in winter track to get to where we are today, and so a lot of teams have like 40 girls, and we had 9, so we just really take
Maia, what's the well, that actually was going to be my next question. You here, go down there for a second. Maia's on the outside a little bit. Gotta swing her that microphone, just pull it over. So it's most teams have 40.
Yeah,
I know, I always felt like my high school track team was like always huge, like everybody who wasn't playing a sport just kind of dig track, and you all have 9. That's incredible.
Yeah, it's small, but I think it's kind of better because we all get to know each other really well, and we're more of a family. And we like have these expectations that we set for each other, and since we're such a small team, we make sure that everybody hits those standards, because we know if we didn't, we don't have the numbers to back us up.
Right. You better hope nobody gets hurt too, right? That's probably like a real thing, I would think.
Yeah.
Did you battle any injuries, or?
I think all of us have had some kind of injury over the track season. Shin splints are just a big one in the track community.
Those are the worst, aren't they?
Yeah. But it's something that like we all have to run through an injury. Usually you'll find almost everybody on a team will have an injury, but especially when you have like such a small number, it's kind of like you just take an Advil and just hope for the best.
Yeah, just gonna keep pushing through it, right?
Yeah.
So that is crazy. I don't think I realized you were such a small team, and you have kind of a unique situation that we were talking about off the air. I was just curious about graduation dates, because you're all seniors, and you had a different one, which confused me. Let's explain that to people.
So I do a co-op because I go to Sparhawk High School, and so we do a co-op with Amesbury for soccer, track, girls basketball. And so it's been a lot of fun just coming over after school almost every day and running with these girls. They're playing soccer.
Is that 4 years of that for you?
It started my sophomore year, but I told our coach after we won, I said I wish I had that extra year.
Yeah.
I was always kind of sad that I didn't get my freshman year to run.
Did you? Was that almost like nerve-wracking a little bit, having to come over to a whole different group of girls? Because I'm guessing you didn't know all them that well, or maybe you did, or.
From soccer, I knew a couple people.
Yeah.
But I really, I knew one girl. Before
who's the Sparhawk girl? Who's the?
Yeah. A lot of people didn't know who I was, but it was once I got to know people.
Yeah.
Made a lot of friends.
Then they were like, "She's really good, so that'll work." Was that kind of a? Did she know you girls, or?
She and I were on the same soccer team, so I felt comfortable with her, and
so you were Chelsea was telling everybody that Maia's okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, that's all interesting. Well, that's huge. What was the celebration like? Did we go out for pizza afterwards? Or?
Yeah, as a team, we all
turn
stopped.
that mic into you a little bit. There you go.
As a team, we all stopped at Wendy's. So
Wendy's was the celebration.
Great.
I do not envision that as being the track runner's food of choice, but
at the end of the meet, we all just kind of wanted to. We were all exhausted because it was 85 degrees in Norwell,
right,
so we were extremely exhausted, and we just needed to get food in our system, and we wanted to crash at home, so we chilled at Wendy's for an hour and a half and just
hour
went
and a half
home.
at Wendy's.
Yeah, it was
very
long.
It takes us a while to get through the line.
That is very funny. I can imagine. It does take you a while to get through the line. Well, that's good. Might be pushing a record at staying at Wendy's. But, well, that's very cool. Was it a bus ride there? Or
yes.
So it must have been a fun bus ride back. That was
yeah.
Cool. What do you do? Do you carbo load pasta the night before? Is it like the marathon meals, or what's the deal?
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously our coach is, like, pretty much instilled in us that, like, we have to hydrate and, like, eat good, like, food for our bodies the day before a meet, but really, like, the week before a meet, especially, like, one this big. So, basically, I mean, I just try to, like, eat, like, protein and carbs and hydrate, like, starting 2 days before the meet just to make sure that, like, I'm, like, at my peak. Fitness when I get there.
There you go. Is there ever, like, what if, like, you get up to these meets, and hopefully not for the big ones, but I'm sure there's some days where you just, it's almost go time and you're like, I am just not feeling great myself. Like, just things are sore or whatever.
Those days happen to everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so early in the morning too.
Yeah.
We had to be on the bus.
How early?
Well, we had to I'd say average people wake up at 6 o'clock to get on the bus at 7, and it's an hour and a half bus ride there.
It's
and
a long day.
When we get there, we have 2 hours until the meet really starts. So it's just really exhausting. But when you get on that start line, usually we have our nerves, and that adrenaline wakes us up. So
those are the good nerves there.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. So what? Because I mean, I was probably Saturday. I was going to get up and go for a run, and then I just wasn't feeling up to it.
Yeah.
So I can imagine what it's like when you're hanging around for a few hours. But obviously you got yourself together. Did experience play a role that you won last year? Like, were you able to kind of just channel everything in like kind of the right way? You felt like you were in a good spot after being the defending champs?
I'd say each year you have a different vibe on your team.
Yeah.
Last year felt completely different because never before have we won this.
Yeah.
This year, I'd say I felt more comfortable winning. It wasn't, I mean, how every event played out this year definitely took us by surprise that we still came out with a win.
Yeah.
But I'd say just everyone felt really, there was just a lot of joy and happiness like with coming with this state championship.
But a little bit of a looser vibe on the team and stuff.
Last year we had like a pretty stacked team.
How many kids did you have last year?
We had 15, I think, and which is still not that many, but we just like had a lot of girls who could easily like dominate different events. Whereas like this year we only had a few girls who like were at that level. But so this year I feel like it was more of a like whole team effort. Like last year was a few people.
Well, if you have 9, it better be, right?
Yeah.
Last year was more like a few people getting pretty much all the points. But this year I felt like everyone really like contributed like the most they could.
That's cool. You gave a quick nod, Maya. You agree?
Yeah, I feel like last year it was we had like not everybody did like their favorite event, just because like last year we had so many people that could do so many different events that you could kind of like be in different ones that you weren't used to. Like I did the 4x800, which was scary, but like this year.
So what's the 4x800? What's that in like?
Everybody has to run 2 laps. It's one of the worst.
2 laps around the big track.
Yeah.
So it's a half mile.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible.
Yeah.
But like this year we had more girls last year, so we had more people in different events, and this year was more, we focused our people to where we knew we could get points.
Okay, so a little more strategy involved this year. So when so in that race, a 4x8, so that's like a half mile, but it's not like your casual Sunday morning jog. That's like you're almost trying to sprint the whole time, right?
Yeah, it's not fun.
You're like cringing as you're talking about it.
Me and Chelsea had to run it. We in the pentathlon, which we both did. There's an 800, and it's the last event. And I say the 800 is probably the hardest track event. Just because it's like, it's not a jog, not like the 1 mile, 2 miles a jog, but it's not a slower pace like the 1 mile and 2 mile, but it's not the 400 where it's an all-out sprint, and it's a very mental run.
Yeah. What are you telling yourself during that? Is it just stay within yourself, or like?
I have 500 meters to go. I have 400 meters to go. I just counted down.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Yeah, you all do that, really?
Yeah. Well, I'd say the hardest part is actually. When you get up on that starting line, like before you get up on that starting line, it's just like you're trying to think of all these worst possible scenarios, like, or you're dreading just how you're feeling in the moment.
The worst scenarios, really?
Yeah, well, you're just thinking of like how you're gonna feel afterwards, and you're just really not looking forward to like the pain in your legs. But I'd say once that gun goes off and I'm on that track, everything just goes away, and I have to like bring my A game every time I go around the bend, every time I go on the straightaway, and since we run the 400 a lot, and that's sort of similar to the 800, we know how to pace it well. So we know what we're doing when we get on the track. It's just the mental push of saying I can do this. So I'd say that's the hardest part for a lot of things in general. So, but we definitely came out on top, and we did really well.
Is that a similar mindset, Caroline?
Yeah.
Is it?
Track is like 90% a mental sport.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely. It's like the nerves beforehand are just like crazy, and like most of the time you're just thinking about, oh my gosh, like how much pain am I going to be in after I finish this race, or like how am I going to feel afterwards, how am I going to like go on to the next 5 events I still have to do afterwards. But like honestly, we've like worked really hard for the past 2 years trying to keep like our mindset really good. Like during workouts, like our coach will always tell us like, well, this is how it's supposed to feel at the end of a 400 when you're really tired, and like just try to keep like your attitude positive, because like a state championship could come down to this, and like it has for us multiple times. So like I think that like the 3 of us really know how to like cope with how it's gonna feel, and like we've worked really hard for the past few years.
And as captains with all that experience, do you kind of work with some of the younger kids? Do you have any freshmen out of those 9?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're like, okay, these are the ropes.
Yeah, and personally in soccer, this
Good
past
job.
fall, as a captain, I know. I mean, as a senior, any senior knows how it feels to be a freshman walking on a team. Like, you're afraid, you're not knowing what to expect, and especially track is so different from, I'd say, any other sport, because it's the most objective.
Yep.
Your time is your time. I mean, there's no room for error of discussing how good you are. It's just super objective and stuff. But it's 100% like what you put in comes out.
Yep.
And the way you treat your body, the way you treat others in the process. So we definitely try to instill our freshmen or underclassmen with good positive energy, because that goes so far. And little things like that bring leadership. And once you have a good leadership crew, and when they're seniors, they can want to give back to those under. It's just like a cycle. You want to just keep on giving back to the younger kids, so they know how like worthy they are. They know how good they can be when they put in X amount of hours into it. So that's just our outlook on things. We always want the best for the underclassmen to enjoy it while it lasts, because when they're an upperclassman, they want the best for everyone else too.
And now the sophomores are just used to winning championships, so this is all right now.
Yeah.
Maia, what's the what are we running like the mile in these days? What's the how about all 3 of you? I'm just curious. I always ask people.
The mile?
Yeah. What's like the average track?
For girls, I'd say.
Who's your top mile time?
So.
No, I think Annie ran a 5:55.
5:55. Wow.
But I think our school record was 5:15.
Yeah, I think 5:12 last year was
5:12.
ran by Michaela Howell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was she she graduate?
Yeah, she's running at Holy Cross. Right
Oh,
now,
okay.
so.
So she was one of those ones that was really a dominant force. All right, so we're doing that in 5:12. What's the who's like the stars of the other events here? Like, is there certain specialties that some of you have?
So Caroline's really good at the 100 and 200. I think going into...
So that's the quick sprints, right?
Yeah,
okay.
so
you're a
was, like,
sprinter in the group.
Yeah, so she was like 3rd in the state for 100.
Wow.
And then Chelsea's really good at the 400 hurdles. She's going to New Balance Nationals.
I hated the hurdles.
Yeah.
I was never a fan.
Yeah.
I don't like putting stuff in my way when I'm running.
And then it's a love-hate.
Our 4x1 team has just been like really good for the past couple of years. We just, for some reason, have a lot of 100 runners, and our 4x2 team too is going to nationals. And then I don't know. Just
Maia's a 400 runner too.
Yeah,
She's
I was
very
catching
good
on to
at
that.
Yeah.
But
it's good captain work right there. Everybody's modest.
Yeah, our team just in general was a lot of. We didn't have as much depth, but I feel like we had a lot of girls who were very good at their events.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's take that, Caroline. We'll go to you then. What's that's going to be a different mindset, right? When you're sprinting first, the kind of the longer runs, because for a longer run, I'm assuming it's all right, gear up for this kind of thing. But with the sprinting, we're probably thinking about every little thing. Like, let's make sure you get out of the starting blocks right on time, and like all those little things that can make a big difference, right?
Well, I'm notorious for having a really bad start, which is really bad for a sprinter. But yeah, I mean, I always try to think about what I run. Like,
what are you, like, surprised by the gun or something? Like,
yeah, I don't know. I just am so bad. But I just really think about like pushing as hard as I can, like making sure my strides are like really long and like are turning over really quickly, and then like just pushing really as hard as I can all the way through like the line and stuff.
Long strides. That's actually a thought in your.
Yeah, actually, because my coach always at the end of workouts will be like, lengthen your strides, move your arms. Like that's like something that he says to us pretty much every day. So
Ernie's like really coaching out there.
Yeah, he is.
Good for you, Ernie.
We have we have like Coach B, and then we have Kevin, who's our like sprint coach, and honestly, he's done so much for like the program.
What's Kevin's last name?
Kevin Johnston.
Okay.
And he has been, I think this is his 5th year coaching. And so we've had him for all 4 years, and he's been like the best. Like we joke with him all the time. Like we give him a hard time, but like
he gives us a hard time too. So it's he sees the best in us, and sometimes we don't see it. But the reason why he pushes us so hard is because he believes in us. And as seniors, like we take a step back and we really appreciate everything that he's done, because he is a former Amesbury High School student, and then he went on to UMass Lowell to run track and like the 100-meter dash too. So
he's been there, done that.
Yeah. So he definitely knows what he's doing with us.
Do you drive him crazy with the starting times?
Oh yeah, you drive him crazy all the time. I'm surprised he's still coaching us, honestly. But yeah, he's been like the best. At the beginning of the season, it's really hard to like him because he pushes us so hard. He gives us like workouts that just seem impossible, like when we hear it. Yeah. But then like we always finish them, and like especially like this season, we've been doing like we've worked so hard, and it's really like all.
What were the impossible workouts? What were the
like broken 600s or
what is that?
It's a lap and a half, and it's you sprint the first half lap, then you jog the next half lap, and then you sprint the last half lap.
In 2 minutes.
In 2 minutes?
In 2 minutes.
And we do 5 of those.
Yeah.
That does not sound fun.
No.
Yeah, with a 5-minute break in between.
Okay. Yeah, I don't like him either. And what's the pyramids?
It's
Is it stairs?
I wish. Stairs are so easy.
Stairs are so easy. Man.
I believe it's a 2, 4, 6, 4, 2.
Oh no, 6, 4, 2, 4, 6.
It goes down.
Laps around the track?
Yeah.
So no, it's
a 600.
Yeah.
So that's 3 laps, and then do a 400. Wait, no, a 600's a lap and a half. A 600's a lap and a half, and then you get a 2-minute break, and then you do a lap, and then a 2-minute break, and then a 200, which is a half a lap, and then you get a 5-minute break, I think, and then you do another lap, which is a 400, and then you do another lap and a half, and it's horrible.
And that's practice.
Yeah. That's my hardest workout.
Well, what's the it's a good difference because she was more of the sprinter and the starting and all that. Had terrible at starting, but what's like kind of your mindset when you're talking about long distance runs? Do you try to like, can you run with music? Do you get to do that?
You definitely.
Definitely don't. That was like no.
Yeah, the girls who go on like 5-mile runs, they'll run with their phones and they play music, but the sprinters, when we do a workout, we don't get music.
Yeah, that's the
okay. Is it even is it allowed in states or probably not?
No, but people just prefer any sprinter wouldn't. It's just so intense, and you don't really hear anything.
How about for the longer distance runs? I would think if I wanted to do a mile, I think I would be. Yeah, I would be using it.
Well.
I'm sure they could do it. I've just never seen it.
It's probably different when you're actually racing. Yeah. You don't want something to happen.
You're just so nervous that you don't want like music to really calm you down. You want to like go in the moment and with all your adrenaline. You want to just like give it all.
Gotcha. So. All right. Well, that's good. I still think I'd use music. But so what's your thought process though when you're going for like those longer runs when you have to, you got 2 laps ahead of you. As she cringes again, so sorry, Maya. But you're probably not as worried about like an unbelievable start time. You're probably pacing yourself a little bit more, right?
Yeah. So I usually do like the 400. The 800 is part of the pentathlon. But when it like
I've never heard pentathlon. Is that?
It's fairly new. It's
fairly new.
Yeah,
okay.
I think
it's an 800, 100 hurdles, long jump, high jump, and shot put.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it's kind of like. You're really nervous going up to it, but then once you start running, you kind of forget about how nervous you are, and you just focus on your goal. Yeah. Like usually, Kevin will give us a goal, like you have to beat that girl, or if you're running for a certain time, and so you kind of just focus on that goal, like whether it's the girl ahead of you or a certain time that you're supposed to hit for your split.
Huh. And so when you do that, do you actually do every one of those events, or is it like somebody else is doing the shot put? Or
no, we have to do all of them.
Every one of them?
Yeah.
Wow. Are you like good at all those?
She's really good at it.
You're good at Chelsea. You're kind of like the everything person.
Yeah.
She did because she didn't answer. So how about like how do you get good at like the shock put? Like when did you learn that?
Well, I kind of was forced to learn everything because we just don't have a lot of girls on our team. So
it is just crazy. Yeah.
I actually quit basketball I was going into, it was November of junior year when I quit basketball, and I was a captain, and that was probably the hardest decision I had to make because the previous year, my team was unbelievable. We went to TD Garden, and it was just leaving that. It was so hard because track is really like my passion, and I knew that for my sake, I'd thrive doing winter track because that just gets me so much better for spring track.
Yeah. But so you're going to miss basketball a little.
Yeah, but I'm happy with my choice. But during winter, definitely they took me and just showed me different events that I could do. And I just do whatever they tell me to do because I just don't have a choice. They just tell me to.
That's funny. Well, it's a very unique experience. Again, we're here with the Amesbury track team, back-to-back Division 4 champions as of Sunday. So another big title for them. Maia, Esty, Chelsea Lynch, and Caroline Schissel. Caroline, what graduation's what day again?
June 7th.
June 7th. This is an exciting time of year, huh? Is it crazy? I remember being a little bit crazy. Proms and college stuff. At least college is. Have you guys decided on those? Or everybody knows what they're doing?
Yeah.
Would you like to say? You can say it if you'd like.
Yeah. I'm going to UMass Amherst.
Very nice.
I'm going to UMass Lowell.
I'm going to UMass Amherst.
Wow. You two gonna stay friends? So Carolyn, what's it like though this time of year? I mean, it's gonna be, never mind throwing a state title shot, but a lot going on.
Yeah, it's been
final exams too.
Crazy. Yeah, our finals are Thursday and Friday of this week, so it's been like.
So it's right back to studying after this.
Yeah. But it's been a crazy, like the past, I'd say like month really, since our prom was actually April 26th because we have a combined junior senior prom. So, but we've had a track meet every weekend since that weekend. We had a track meet 2 days afterwards.
Wow.
And then we've had a meet every weekend, and we will have, like, the two of us will have a meet every weekend until June, the end of, like, June 15th, so. Crazy.
Yeah. How do you balance all that?
It's kind of a lot. On top of working, too, it's just really hectic. I mean, yesterday, or today, it just hit me, like, oh, okay, well, tomorrow's my last full day of school. Like, I just didn't even, I feel like I don't have time to, like, really think about it because track is just like so much is just going on, and I mean, definitely it will hit me very soon, I'm sure, but track has definitely been a priority and a strong commitment for all of us, and that's basically, this weekend was super hectic with states and all, so that was my focus. That's all I was thinking about. But
it does kind of fly by on you that
really
senior year. Once it starts speeding up, it's kind of tough to slow it down.
Yeah.
So the graduation, you excited about graduation? Does it feel like the right time?
Yes, I'm very, very excited.
Is it kind of does it feel like a drag this time of year a little bit with all that going on, or is it more just super hyper?
I mean, for us, I don't know what it's like for someone who isn't in the sport because it must feel a little bit slower for them. But the fact that every weekend is kind of like a tick mark for us, like it's a Cal meet, it's a state meet, it's an all-state meet, and those things kind of like push me through. And having practice or having a set schedule and work every day, it just keeping ourselves busy kind of like makes it go by faster. So.
Did you already have like the proms all done and stuff? That when were those? Were those weeks ago? Yours is still done. Okay. And you still have to have yours?
Yeah, mine's June.
Here, take that microphone there.
Mine's actually the day of their graduation. It's June.
Oh,
7th.
really?
Yeah.
So you won't be cheering them on at graduation?
No, I'll be on a boat.
On a boat?
Yeah.
What boat?
I don't know. We went on it for whale watching runs.
One of the big Boston ones?
No, it's going out of Newburyport.
Oh, okay.
So.
I wonder which one. That's interesting. It's how many people in your class?
My graduating class is 19.
Oh wow! So yeah, I don't think I realized how small.
No, yeah, Spar Rock's pretty small.
Gotcha. All right, well that's cool. And what did you girls do? What was your prom?
Ours was at Danversport this year.
Oh yes.
And
I'm from Danvers.
Yeah, it was really nice.
I loved it.
It was so fun this year, but it rained, so that kind of stuff.
But the facility itself was beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah, did they have the outside open for you too?
Yeah, but it was raining.
Yeah. No tent?
Well, there was kind of. It was
not a good night to be outside.
No, it was cold in general.
Yeah, it was April, so
it's kind of been the last month. Besides, like the last week.
Yeah.
Except for the one day we had a track meet.
Yeah.
What was 85 during the track meet?
Oh God, yeah.
You probably would rather run in the rain, right?
Oh, I don't know. I mean,
is it rain? Not rain, but like fall-like temperatures are the best, right?
For sprinters, it's definitely better to have like
it's faster when it's hotter, but like it's
for long distance. I mean, I remember 2 years ago it was 90 degrees at where we were, and the sprinters did amazing, and then the long distance did amazing too, but they were really struggling. And around the corner there was a spray station and giving cups of water because there were probably many heat strokes and just
you actually probably do have to really be careful about that, huh?
Yeah.
Never mind of the heat, but then you mix in kind of the anxiety of stressful moments.
And the track itself is 10 degrees hotter than it really is.
So I always like talking with runners too. We're in one of the running capitals of the world when it comes to big marathons. Have any of you thought about that? Let's go left to right, Maya. Maia, do you even like running? Every time you talk long races, you're like,
I don't know. I'm always impressed by people who do it, but I don't think I could run 26 miles.
It is so much, isn't it?
That's a lot.
Crazy. I think about it like when I do like 3 or 4, and I'm like, all right, so that would be like, okay, that'd be like 22 more. Yeah, I don't see that ever happening. Chelsea?
I don't know. Because I'm running in college, I just really want a big break from running. Probably after that, I'll probably be burnt out.
Yeah, well, you have time. You can do it. You can do it at any point.
I know. I don't know. Yeah. It seems just like years of getting that endurance that I don't have. So.
Do you think? Yeah, I bet this kind of high school track probably does prepare you for it. I know it would take a lot of work. But.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the main part of any like race or long distance run you go on, it's mental, and it's just the way to like push yourself. And when the second you quit on yourself, that's the time that you stop. And definitely, especially in our scenario of 9 girls on our track team, and like on my soccer team too, and it just definitely benefited me. In the way that like I push myself to my limit like every single time, so definitely I've grown and had my mental strength like better. So
Caroline, marathon in your future?
I mean, it was always like a life goal of mine to
run
a marathon,
interesting.
But like
we got a prospect here.
Yeah, whether or not I ever do it is probably not. Again, I'm running track like Chelsea is in college. Yeah. So being burnt out of running is definitely a possibility. Like already now I run 3 seasons a year. I don't run cross country, but I run like on my own in the fall. I quit soccer because I used to fight with them. Yeah. But
there's like something to that though, right? I mean, I bet like if you were not on a track team, you would still run because you probably enjoy it and
I mean I don't. I like running, but like
maybe not. Maybe you wouldn't run. I don't know.
I mean, no one's
it's very different for sprinters because
it's so different.
When like sprinters don't choose to go on 3-mile runs. It's just a different like mentality, and our training is just so different.
You won't do a 3-mile run?
I mean, I would. But
if you were being chased.
Yeah, exactly. But like a lot of our workouts just come from like interval repeats, which get grueling.
Yeah.
And like they get boring. It's really, I love when we do hills sometimes in the beginning of the season. So I love anytime we can get off the track because the track is very boring.
Yeah. But just a change of scenery.
Yeah. It helps so much, I swear. But
Maia, is it like do you have to keep each other kind of like if maybe you can tell if like Chelsea's a train wreck one day and a head case, or if Caroline's a head case, like, and you're like, all right, come on, like, do you find yourself picking each other up some days?
Yeah, I've definitely been picked up by both of these two before, like a 4x4 when I'm like I just can't do it. It's kind of like going into this year. The past 2 years I remember being like I don't want to run the 4x4, and this year it wasn't as fun, but it was this year I've kind of like I got into the mindset of like this is something that I've been put in it for a reason, and it's more we pick each other up, but also I feel like we've done pretty well as captains to pick our underclassmen up, especially in a race that they're either nervous for or a race they don't really want to run. But yeah, we all have our moments.
I'm sure. Anybody else want to stab at that one?
Yeah,
You're like, yeah, she's right. We have to pick her up a lot.
Basically, just what Maia said. Like, track is so mental, and like, especially in the winter, the track is smaller, so it's more laps. It feels longer sometimes. It's inside, so it's like basically just like seasonal depression times. Like, really. But like, I've been picked up so many times by Chelsea. Like, basically, she just holds like a lot of us together and just like, you can do this, like grounds us. And like, honestly, then that takes me over to like, especially like with like some of the shorter sprinters who get nervous for like meets and stuff. Yeah, it's just like really easy because I've had so many people help me in the past that I'm like, no, that I'm like, you can do this. If I can do it, you can do it. So, like,
well, that's good. Chelsea, you seem to be kind of the rock then of the group. Good job.
Yeah.
That's kind of the vibe I'm getting.
More like I'd say I need to practice what I preach, though, for myself. I'm very good at motivating others in the moment, even when I'm just like, oh, okay, I need to just get this over with.
It's very funny. What's the most exciting part about getting ready to run at college? That must be kind of a new challenge.
Yeah. So my Kevin, my sprinting coach, ran there, and I wouldn't be committed there without him because he just communicates with them, and he's been on board with them, trying to get me to go there for a while. And I wasn't really thinking of going to UMass, but the environment is just awesome, and I can't wait to go there. I have former teammates. I have like 3 former teammates that are there now running, so I can't wait to like reunite with them. It's very similar what Kevin experienced at UMass Lowell and what he did for workouts he brings to us, so it's going to be a very smooth transition for me. I mean, I hope, but I'm just really excited to keep just progressing and getting better at what I love doing. So
I'm going to ask all of you the same question. What are you all going to miss the most about graduating here and finishing up high school? And
for me, I really enjoyed like the sports part. Just because my school was so small, it was nice to go and have an outside community. So I'm not running in college, so I will probably miss just like going and being on a team.
You should walk on.
Is it fun? Is it like it's not like an automatic, like it's kind of like another social scene, right? Just having all these friends.
Yeah, I feel like especially this year, our team we're very close this year. We were smaller, but I feel like our personalities as a group were mixed a lot better than in past years. And so it was a lot of, I feel like we were a very close group, and it was a lot of fun.
What was the gossip from past years? Jeez.
No, we're all good.
Chelsea, what are you going to miss most about the, it doesn't even have to be track or sports, what's the high school experience thing that you're like, I'm definitely going to miss that?
Yeah, so I've been playing soccer since I was 5 or 6 years old, and I'm a very intense person, and track, you're just running in a straight line without contact or anything, and it's a lot more individual. But soccer, and I mean even in basketball, just the teams that I've led and the teams that I've been a part of and the leaders that I've looked up to in the past have definitely inspired me to be like the best athlete I can be every single day. Yep. But just the intensity of soccer and basketball, and just being like, I don't know, giving my like A game every time, and listening to like the hype music before warming up and stuff, and just that environment, just playing in a stadium too. It's just like the best feeling ever. And I really, really, really am gonna miss that.
There you go. Middle schoolers can get all excited about that when they think about it, right?
Oh, also, if you are a middle schooler or whatever, I think in 5th grade, and in our school stadium, I was watching a high school girls soccer game, and I thought they were like the pros, and the lights were on. It was at night, and I just wanted to be them so bad. Yeah. And now I look back, and I got to be in those shoes, and it's just like those dreams do come true. So if you're a youngster out there, you can do it.
Good advice. So many seniors say that. They're like, I always pictured myself in like 7th and 8th grade doing that, and then it happened, and then it was like, wow, okay. Then that was kind of a blur.
Yeah, I know.
Caroline, let's see. What was my question again? What did I ask?
What are you going to miss the most?
Oh, yeah, what are you going to miss the most?
I'm definitely going to miss our coaches a lot. Aww. I have a really good relationship with Kevin, especially because I did run by myself this fall, so, like, he just has helped me with so much, and, like, not even just, like, with, like, running-wise, like, Kevin and B have really, like, helped me transform as a person and become like so much more confident in myself. So like I'm definitely gonna miss them and like their like advice and wisdom to me. So like it's definitely gonna be a big change next year.
Speaking of that, do you feel like you I remember that being like a senior, like freshman, like you probably see it with your freshman teammates, like the freshman you're like a legit kid, but now a senior you're like young adults now. Like do you realize how much like you've grown here over the past 4 years?
I mean, it's been crazy. Like I was when I was a freshman, I was so quiet. I had like no friends on the team, and it was really, I almost quit because I was like miserable about like just didn't like do anything. And then like Kevin and B, like they saw like potential, I guess, and so they were like, just keep with it. And then like I've made so many like different friends through track. It's truly been like the best experience that I've had on all of high school, and like I like would not, I like just don't even think I could like I'd be missing a piece of myself if I like wasn't a runner anymore. So
how about that answer? That's good. That's gonna be tough to follow up if anybody would like to add to that. What do you think about the on that note, Chelsea? What's it been like to be a part of this particular team? Like
so once again, the coaches. I mean,
there you go. Now you're covering yourself on the coaches thing. You're like, that was a good idea.
Well, so coming from a different perspective, I've in every sport there's like different coaches that I've had, and every single one of them have given me like a different lesson, and I can take a piece from every one of them. But being part of this team, we're all leaders here, and it just gives me a chance to like make those underclassmen believe in themselves, because I mean, as a freshman, you're just like, ignorance is bliss. Like you just have no idea what's going on. And I wish like I had closer like captains. I wish I had better role models, I'd say. So that gave me a chance to realize what like I want to be, like what I want to develop, like my own sense of leadership. And I've definitely like had that through track. And I just get to like give back to those freshmen who may not see, like Caroline, like she didn't want to do this, and she was just like super, like I don't know, she just developed like crazy, and now
didn't want to be a captain. She's freshman,
like
doesn't talk senior captain. That's cool.
Well, she's like the best runner in the state now, basically, for the 100, and like those things, like if someone didn't believe in her, then she wouldn't have been able to like accomplish what she's had. And I just love being able to do that for other people through track. So because it's a mental like struggle.
Oh yeah, I keep coming back to that mental struggle. Huh? Maia, how about you? Growth from like freshman to senior, pretty crazy.
I didn't get to run my freshman year, but for me,
even as a person,
I feel like a lot of it, just like freshman year, wow. I was like, I feel like I was like a little kid. Like I don't know what I was doing, but like, just I don't know.
Do you feel like you're? I mean, it's gonna be crazy looking back. Like you probably can't even imagine. You know, it's such a hole if you were to take out the 4 years. But do you even remember freshman year self?
Yeah, I remember. I was very anxious a lot. Like I'm not anxious, but I was a head case. Yeah, I was like, if I had done track, I definitely would have been crying on the side of the track at some point. Yeah. But
how'd you get out of that?
I feel like I had some really good teachers at Sparhawk that helped me with like having confidence in like academics and outside of it, and then also coming into sports, having confidence like on the track or on the soccer field. Like when you're out there, you're there for a reason, and someone believed in you to put you there. Having
a good teacher and good coaches is really important in life, isn't it? Like just probably you probably don't even know it yet, but like, you know, I'm 32 and I have teachers and certain coaches that like I'll still keep in touch with just because they meant a lot to me, which is kind of cool. It seems like you all have that too.
Yeah.
That's a good thing to have. All right, final question here as we're running out of time. Again, this has been the Amesbury track Division 4 champion girls track team. Maia, Esty, Chelsea Lynch, Caroline Schissel. Thank you all for coming on, by the way. This was fun. Hope you enjoyed it. Yeah. You all walked in, you were like, wait, it's on TV too? What is this? Where are we? But no, it's been fun. Cannot be track related. So get that out of your head. Favorite high school moment? Who doesn't have to be left or right. Somebody can grab the microphone and go.
Sport?
Yes, but it has to be like not sporty? Huh? How about that?
Okay, well, I don't know what that means.
Go
I'm
ahead.
just going to go for it. Okay,
Go.
so definitely sophomore year, when in soccer we won our North Sectional Championship for the first time.
Okay.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. But we'd done it 3 years in a row, so that was pretty cool.
Nice.
But it was just like the first thing that we've ever done, and I had my cousin with me and on the team. And I don't know, sophomore year, you have 1 year under your belt, but you're still the underclassman, and it was just such a good like vibe that day, and I don't know, it was just like the best day ever.
All right, I'm calling that sporty though. So now give me another one. Now you have to give me a second one. Second grade high school moment.
Okay, you go while I think.
We're passing it off. You won a lot of titles though. Jeez. That's kind of a side note.
Favorite high school moment?
They're all blanking. How about there could be like pasta parties or okay, nope, those weren't fun either.
We had like one or two in the track season.
Test. Was it like nailing a test maybe? No.
I guess when I got into like my first college, I guess.
Oh, that's a good one.
I heard back from like the two colleges that I was like seriously considering pretty early. I heard back from UMass Lowell and UMass Amherst pretty quick. And when I got my UMass Amherst acceptance, I like deleted all the applications I hadn't finished because I like knew I was done. And like that was for me like one of my favorite high school moments was like getting into college and being like, okay, I'm going somewhere.
That is such a relief, isn't it? I remember that first one too. That's a huge moment. And then when you know that's the one you wanted, I did the same exact thing. Well, I got it down to 2, and then I had to struggle with that one. But good job repping the UMass Amherst shirt today too. That's very, very well planned. That's a fun place there. I visited. You two got one yet? There you go. Caroline jumping in.
Well, the whole lead up to the Thanksgiving football game.
Oh yeah. You stole it. You can double team it.
No. I don't think I'm gonna. So I mean, the Thanksgiving game this year was freezing cold. It was like 15 degrees, and even though it was so cold, everyone still came and we won. So that was really great. And this whole season, our football team has been really good. And obviously it was always a joke, oh, our football team stinks, but we're still gonna go to the games. It's something to do a Friday night. But this year it was actually really fun because they go and they demolish the teams they played. So we're whoa, they're winning and it's Friday, and I mean that's. Obviously, they have a football team at UMass, and it's gonna be super fun. But I mean, I'm gonna miss a lot of the friendships that we had, and it's super tight because we don't have that many kids at our school. We have 600, but not that many kids go to the games.
Okay. There's something to the high school football atmosphere too, compared to college. It's just smaller. You feel like you're a part of it.
Exactly. So I'm gonna miss that a lot.
Okay, so
the build up.
I was gonna say the football games; those are always fun, but just on a whim, I guess. Once again, sophomore year, the welcome back dance. That was pretty cool because we came from our soccer game. We kind of came in late, and it was USA themed, so we were all decked out in red, white, and blue. And right when we walked in, all we do is win came on, and I don't know. It was just such a fun night because I had my friends that were graduated now, but it was just a really fun time.
Was that post big victory?
Yeah, so it was just everyone knew who we were. Everyone was soccer team, just won, and not the football team.
Good job. You all came up with them. Very nice. Yeah. Well, that was great, girls. It was a pleasure meeting you all. Congratulations on a Division 4 titles back to back.
Thank you.
Very cool. I'm sure you're all still kind of on cloud 9 about that one since it was just Sunday.
Yeah.
I don't think I was away this weekend, so I kind of came back and I was reading through the papers and I said, "Oh, that's cool." Yeah. And I just didn't realize it was Sunday. But again, Maia, Esty, Chelsea, Lynch, Caroline, Schissel, 10 seconds each. Advice for the middle schooler as they want to be in your shoes someday, like we talked about earlier. What's the best advice from you, Maia, Esty?
When you get there, it's enjoy it because when you're Sunday probably was my last track meet, and it was sad, and it's just enjoy those times when you have them because they go by quick, especially track meets. You only have 3 dual meets a year, and just enjoy them because when they're gone you'll miss them.
Very good answer. Chelsea?
All right, I'd say know your place. treat others the way you want to be treated, because it just makes you feel better when you know you left a mark on someone or a whole group just a whole group, I guess.
Good. And you, Caroline Schissel?
Definitely make the most of all your experiences in high school, because it's only going to happen once and it goes by insanely fast. And like just cherish like everything, like all your friendships and moments, because it's not going to be the same ever again.
Good job. 3 very strong answers to end. Again, thank you, girls. That was fantastic. Hope you enjoyed it. And congratulations on another championship. Very cool.
Thank you.
Again, Maia, Esty, Chelsea Lynch, Caroline Schissel. My name is Drew Moholland. Big thanks to Lily Doucette and Tyler Neufeld producing on the day. We will see you all back here Thursday. Same time, same place. Bye-bye now.